And we are set for the first fight of the night here in Birmingham. We are at light heavyweights with Derby's Zach Parker, who's up against Blackpool's Jack Arnfield. Your commentary team for this evening is Paul Dempsey and Richie Woodall, after our MC, Thomas Treiber.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Fight Night Live on TNT Sports from the Resorts World Arena in Birmingham, England. It is all being brought to you by Frank Warren on behalf of Queensberry Promotions, along with their great sponsors, 32 Red and Unibet. We get the Magnificent 7 card started with 10 rounds scheduled in the light heavyweight division. Our timekeeper is Martin Fallon, and when the bell rings, our referee in charge and scoring this contest will be Chris Dean. Introducing to you first, fighting tonight out of the red corner, he comes to the ring wearing white with gold and weighed in officially at 12 stone 3 pounds. Hailing from Blackpool, England, he brings a professional record of 26 wins, 3 defeats, with 6 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the former WBA International Middleweight Champion, Jack Arnfield. And his opponent across the ring, fighting tonight out of the blue corner. He comes to the ring wearing black trunks and weighed in the same as his opponent, 12 stone 3 pounds. Hailing from Swaddling Coat, Derbyshire, England, he has a professional record of 24 wins, just 1 defeat, with 17 of his 24 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the former British and WBO International Super Middleweight Champion, Zach Parker.
Okay, fellas, you both know the rules. I want to see a good, clean fight. I say break, stop punching, take 1 pace back. Protect yourselves at all times. Touch gloves.
A very good evening, everybody. Birmingham's big midsummer show is underway, and what a night of boxing we've got for you on TNT Sports. Zach Parker back on a big show here in Birmingham, but each time he makes his entrance, he seems to have more questions hanging over his head, and he needs to start coming up with the answers. On the seat of his pants, remember last time, for the first time in his career, and the most intriguing question of the night, why? Why Zach Parker in a slated light heavyweight affair against Jack Arnfield? It is in fact a catchweight, but this is all coming at a time in his career, Richie, when he was meant to be one of the bright young things at super middleweight. So what is going on?
Yes, he lost his way a little bit, didn't he, Zach Parker? Obviously he was beaten by John Ryder, who went on to box Canelo, and I think he was probably looking at a possible Canelo fight, wasn't he, Zach Parker? But let's take nothing away from John Ryder. It was a brilliant win for John Ryder, and so he just lost his way a little bit, but now he started this one pretty well, Paul. Yeah, Zach Parker on that front foot. And there's a little bit of height for Jack Arnold here. He's 6'2" compared to Zach Parker, who's 6 foot. So he's got to try and use that height and reach, really, and just try and keep Parker at bay, because when Parker does close that gap down, he's dangerous in that mid-range section.
In fairness to Zach Parker, biggest opponent by a mile in recent years has been injury, and it's really got in the way. My own opinion on that, for whatever that's worth, is that it has dented his confidence, but he has to rebuild, Richie. The competition is just too hot, and he's got little or no chance of making big headway in the super stacked light heavyweight class if he can't start to establish himself all over again with a W here tonight against Jack Arnfield. This is turning back the clock for many of us. Arnfield, no stranger to the big nights and the bright lights. A British title challenge to Nicky Blackwell. It feels an age ago, that one. but I'm afraid Jack is also no stranger to the bad times out of the ring. He has lost way too many years of his career. We make it 7 years in total to inactivity for various reasons. At least he doesn't blame anybody else, but has he got time now at the age of 35, feeling his way in this opening round?
Yes, it's his last chance now, isn't it, really, for Jack Arnfield, who's been a decent, solid pro. He really has. And yeah, he's took a lot of time off, Paul, as you said, but now he's back, 35 years of age, and giving it a last go. But here he's in against a really skillful operator in Zach Parker, like I've said. And similar pattern to a lot of his contests, Parker starts pretty quick. Reflexes are very sharp early on in his contests, and he scores very well. So it's all about, see, there's a typical example there. Arnold just making a mistake there, lazy jab, and gets caught with a good shot, a good counter from Parker, fast reactions.
Come through with that right hand nice and sharp. Give yourself the angles. He's starting to flinch. He's flinching already. Yeah. He's starting to worry where he's coming from. Got me?
The swing of it tonight, Zach Parker. Nice tidy opener from him against Jack Arnfield in our show opener here on TNT Sports from the Resort World Arena here in Birmingham. It's a splendid arena, and we're told it's going to be fairly full, if not completely rammed tonight at the top of the bill. Nathan Heaney in that long-awaited showdown against the man who pushed him so very close first time round, Brad Pauls, for the British middleweight title. And you know, I think, if you follow the story, what Heaney brings with him. Parker could well do with starting to build a fan club, but only big performances are going to do that. And the idea tonight is to get him rolling again against Jack Arnfield, albeit this is at catch weight.
When you're here, Paul, you have a situation with Arnfield, like I said, he's got to use that jab better, and he's starting to use it, but there you go. If he uses it like that, that was a slow jab to the body, and you can't afford to do that against Zach Park. He comes back with fast counters, fast reactions, so Arnfield has got to use his jab more, yes, but it's got to be sharp, it's got to be accurate, it's got to hit the target, and he's got to stay at distance against Zach Parker.
Mighty big ask, of course, for Arnfield to come back after all the years of inactivity. This is the second professional outing of what feels to me like about the fourth comeback, to be very honest. He returned in mid-May against Robbie Chapman, a little walk around over 6 rounds in Blackpool, very much home territory, of course. And this is all rather different tonight on this big show in Birmingham. But way back when, Richie, not just Nicky Blackwell, he fought John Ryder. He beat Ryder, the man who's really derailed the career of Zach Parker.
Yeah, great win that was, you know, for Arnfield.
Brian Rose, Tommy Langford, who was, of course, the British middleweight champion a few years ago. That's a fair body of work, but getting his body really to click into gear, it seems such a tough ask to me at this time.
Yeah, I mean, Brian Rhodes was a very good fighter, wasn't he? British, like middleweight champion, quality kid. I think they grew up together, actually, both from Blackpool. So, yeah, he's been in with some quality opposition, Jack Arnfield. He's the slightly taller man here, but I think Zach Parker is just a little bit bigger in general terms. Campaigned it. We don't really know, Paul, what's his weight, really. Is it super middle? Is it light heavy? He fluctuates between the two. I would say if he can make super middle, then do that. But he wants to go to light heavy also. So, like I said, it's a bit of a question mark on which weight he actually is.
And whichever, he has to start to look assured again, self-confident again. There are 1 or 2 good signs here, in among some stuff early on, which I find a bit troubling. The right hand seems to me, Richie, to be very, very slow still. And the big question mark in my mind is how big is the question mark in his mind about his fitness. That's the truth of it.
Great jabs there from Zach Parker, and earlier that terrific right hand from that slow jab to the body. This was a good attack because he's switching it from body to head, couple downstairs and then finishes the left up to the head.
So out for the third round of 10. Our show opener here tonight on TNT Sports. Parker, nice and steady, if not explosive early on, and Arnfield feeling his way back in.
You see, and that's what Arnfield will try and do. He'll just slow the pace down so he can see the attacks coming. I think what Zach Parker's got to do, he's got to up the tempo. Fast reaction again, good right hand there, but he's probably got to step on the gas a little bit and put Jack Arnold under a little bit more pressure. Remember, he's not had many rounds these last few years. He's only had one fight in the last 6 years as Jack Arnold. So for me, Parker's got to up the pace here and really test Arnold in terms of his engine and his work rate.
Having been around the way Arnfield has, Richie, somewhere in the memory bank there are little moments from the big fights along the way which might allow him to build his confidence levels, for me, unless he's really put under pressure in this fight. And looking ahead, which is a silly thing to do in many ways, but 6, 8, 10 rounds of one-paced Zach Parker really doesn't right the wrongs of recent times, I'm afraid. Even he had to admit no hiding place last time out against Tyron Zoiga here in Birmingham in March. It was a 10-rounder, and for me, the very clear plan from the promoter down tonight is go back in there and do better.
Yeah, you know what though, Paul, I think he got some unfair criticism from that fight, to be quite honest, because Tyron Zoog had only been beaten once in about 29 contests. He was a former WBA super middleweight champion, so, you know, he got a bit of criticism, but he was in against a tough kid who'd been a world champ and only lost one in, like I say, 29, so, yeah, a little bit unfair. Here, just earlier, Paul, we've seen some good work from Arnfield there. A couple of good 1-2s, keeping his distance, and I think Parker's realising that he's got to get closer to him. He can't afford to stay at bay, because Arnfield's not bad with that jab and that straight 1-2.
Was open for that left uppercut cross from Zach Parker, and Parker duly obliged. We have seen him as a switch hitter over the last few years, and to quite good effect, Zach Parker, but it's all off the orthodox stance so far tonight.
Clever work again from Parker there. That's not bad here, that right hand over the top. But what he's doing, Paul, he's standing just in front of Arnfield because he wants him to jab. And then he's relying then obviously on his reflexes to come back with the right hand. And occasionally he's doing that.
Nicking the round.
Yeah.
Nicking the round.
Yeah.
Let a few more go. When you get caught when up in stupid thoughts.
So there's the punch stats early on from Jabba. Zach Parker is settling in well, and I hope everybody watching with us on TNT Sports similarly. We've got a fantastic lineup here in Birmingham tonight. Here we are with Zach Parker in a slated light heavyweight affair against the returning Jack Arnfield. The early rounds bossed by Parker, I think that's fair, but the comparisons will be coming thick and fast, including here tonight. If Parker is serious about trying to muscle his way into the super talented light heavyweight division, even in British terms, there are so many top-line operatives ahead of him at this moment. And on this card tonight, later, Ezra Taylor, who can certainly make sparks fly. That's better. And Arnfield, the legs really stiffen with the first right hand from Jack Parker. The second one is even better. That's what we've hoped to see for some time from Zach Parker. Great attack.
Unbelievable shot, Paul, that was. Slow jab again from Arnfield. Fast reaction from Parker. We've been speaking about it all night, and now he's going for it.
Arnfield turned to Michael Jennings in his corner and said, I'm absolutely fine, but that's what you do at the age of 35 when you know you're in trouble, and he is in trouble here. And brilliant accuracy. That is what Zach Parker was about on the way up, and he has delivered in some style. And well played, referee Christine. He's telling Arnfield, don't even think about it. Arnfield knows he was caught by some great shots. That is so satisfying for me, Richie, to see Zach Parker suddenly get into top gear.
Well, we've seen it many times from Zach Parker, haven't we, how skillful he is. Very talented kid. But there's question marks starting to appear about his power. Previous boxers were standing up to that power, but here he got it punched perfect. We spoke about this jab from Arnfield. We knew that he had to throw it to try and keep him at range, but Parker, fast reactions, anything slow, then the right hand counter comes across, and it caught him at a peach. The second one on the ropes, fair play to Jack Arnfield, because how he got up from that one, nobody knows, because it was an absolute cracking punch. So here's Arnfield now, just there's the jab. It's a fairly slow jab, he gets caught, but this shot coming up here on the ropes, this is an absolute belter. That one there, and Jack Arnfield actually got up from that. Fair play to him. What a tough kid. There's the first one, then he backs up and onto the ropes. Arnfield's in trouble here, trying to get his senses back. A couple of misses from Parker, but there's one coming up that's bang on the button. It's a cracking shot. He's the left, this is the one here. Watch this, straight through. That is a cracking punch indeed. Fair play to Arnfield for getting up. And here comes the finish. Another one, the side of the chin. Down he goes. A little bit naughty there from Zach Parker, it's got to be said. But nevertheless, a good performance and was needed from Zach Parker.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the official time. 1 minute 16 seconds of round number 4. Our referee Chris Dean waves off the contest. Therefore, your winner by way of technical knockout, Zach Parker.
He electrifies the evening right at the very start of it with that high quality finish, and surely we can hope now that is going to be remembered as the turning point after troubled times for Zach Parker.
Yeah, it has been slightly underwhelming last time out, but much better tonight, Carl.
Yeah, much better. And for a stage, it looked like it might have been another kind of underwhelming performance because he was winning the rounds, but.
Yeah, Becky, you're right. He is ringside with me, and this is how you start an evening of boxing. Zach Parker, welcome back, my friend. I've sat with you a few times here, and you told me yourself I felt underwhelmed. I was disappointed in my own performance. That's how you make a statement. How you feeling?
Yeah, I feel back to myself, to be fair. Getting back to basics. Stop the switching a little bit. Switch it in. I felt good in there, so yeah. Good to get a good stoppage and back on track, you get me?
What's the difference mentally in terms of you had an opportunity to come back in here in this very similar arena, very similar setup, and this time you performed at the highest level?
I give up a lot to do this, you know what I mean? Obviously coming at last minute, I was meant to be on my stag do this week, and I didn't even go, all my mates having a good time on my stag do. But yeah, like I say, I'm really appreciate all the support everyone giving me. I just want to say a big thank you to my fiancée Lydia. She just stuck by me, and obviously all my team, Neil, Marsh, BCB, and I want to personally thank Frank himself. Yeah, I'm still here, innit? I'm still here.
You are still here. Now we can look forward, right? Because this is the whole point. You're one of the few fighters that are versatile. You can still do super middle. You told me that earlier, and of course, you know you just made a statement in the light heavyweight division.
Yeah.
Zach Parker, what do you want next?
Obviously, all the belts are holding up at the minute at super middle with Canelo. If he vacates, it opens up a lot of opportunities, but we don't know with him. So obviously there's a lot of big British fights out at light heavy. This one was made at 12.4. Imagine me at 12.7 against these top lads. I've got dynamite in both hands. Obviously he's got Willie Hutchinson and Boatsy soon, so I'll have any of them. You know what I mean? But if there's big fights super, I can still go back down there. But my options are open.
Options are open, smile on his face. This is the Zach Parker that the light heavyweight division and the super middleweight division have been fearing for a long time, but a statement made tonight. Congratulations, Zach, once again.
You like that? You like that?
We did like it very much, Zach.